Good morning, artists. Happy Monday. Another week down, another week to go. And next week starts our official spring break. And I don't have any assignments for you over spring break other than hopefully it'll be nice enough weather you can enjoy yourself, get outside a little bit if you haven't. The plan is still that I'll be doing some just, fun streaming. So you're still welcome to come hang out with me in the morning, or if I get some free time in the afternoon, I can do that as well. But we'll see. We're trying to keep to our schedule. So really quick for this week, fifth graders, starting with you. You guys are going to be doing some different coloring. I know this is a lot of reading. Please read it anyway, but the short of it is talking about different kinds of colors. So warm colors, cool colors, and how to use them. And you're going to be doing these awesome coloring pages. So kind of figure about, take about a day or two for each one. Got the warm colors on one, cool colors for the next one, and then the final one is your choice. But it might be fun to play around with it a little bit, maybe do one of them warm and one of them cool, or pick certain colors for each. That might look really nice, and that will end up completing your packet. So sixth graders, you guys are doing some work on faces. So this goes through and shows you kind of how to break up a face into different areas, so like the eyes being halfway, and showing you a couple different ways of doing this with different face shapes, and also how it works with looking at something that's on an angle. And so then each day you're going to be practicing a couple different faces. So it's about 3 faces a day. And then at the end of the week, our last 2 days, you're going to be doing a self-portrait. So you're doing a picture of yourself in that space. So that'll be Thursday, Friday for you 6th graders. 7th grade, you guys are still working on your emotion characters. Hopefully you've been keeping up with this. You've got a couple more to finish up. And then at the end of the week, if you still have some extra time, I gave you a bonus page to do another one. And ideally, if we're able to come back to school, we're going to be able to work on putting all of these characters together into that finished piece that I showed you so long ago now, but hopefully we can get to that. 8th graders, you guys are also doing some faces, but this is with a little bit of a different intention. So instead of just learning faces, you are specifically working on these Japanese style faces. So you have a couple of faces to do every day as well, but then rather than doing a self-portrait at the end, you guys are going to be creating your own characters. So there's a page for Thursday and Friday where you're making up your own characters. And ideally, we would want to be able to use these characters later on in making our own little comic strips. So that's what you guys are working on this week. As news changes, we'll see what else we can come up with, depending on what's going on afterwards. So today we're going to be doing some painting. So I've got my, used to be the top of a big ice cream bin. Works perfect for a paint palette. Working with different acrylic paint bought from all over, so different kinds. It's all acrylic though, so it all works out. Got a little cup of water hiding up here. A couple of different brushes. So we're going to start with this little guy that we made Friday morning. He came out so cute. Look at him. Still planning on giving him some wings. The suggestion from Friday's chat was to do like fairy wings, little butterfly type wings. So once he's painted up, then we'll be able to add those in. He's adorable. So we're going to start with, I'm going to give him his eyes first. Shake up your paint really well. It's going to have some green eyes. Let's even add I do like our palettes at school because they're so nice for separating stuff out, but this still works. So if ever you're doing a little clay project, I definitely recommend acrylic. It's probably one of the most versatile paints. You can do it on the clay. It's great for paper, painting on glass if you're doing like a cool glass project. It's definitely works out for it works out on most surfaces. You can also get quality stuff if you want to get a nice quality paint that's a little more expensive, or as I prefer, buying cheap. You can usually get a bottle like this for maybe around $1. If you buy packages of them, you can usually get it for about that cheap. Depends on where you go. Michael's, Joann's will have them. Probably the better places to check it out. If you go to an actual art store, it starts to get a little more expensive. So, I want this little guy. The original inspiration had been a fox, which it doesn't really look like a fox at all anymore, but we're going to still get some foxy kind of colors in here. So getting a little orange. Let's get a little tiny bit of red. And let's get a little touch of brown. Ooh. My brown's brand new. It needs to be shooken up. Get shook. I'm going to use a nice fat brush for this. Now the only problem with the cheaper acrylics is they tend to be a little bit thinner, a little more watery. So you probably have to do more than one layer of it. That's fine. I like to work in layers with these characters anyway. I'll start with kind of a base layer, usually something a little bit on the darker side, and then start adding lighter tones on top of it. It's a nice color too. One of the YouTubers I followed did a couple clips of, I guess it was from a Reddit thread of what people are doing in this time in their quarantine, kind of what the crazy stuff is that's going on. I saw them like stacking different things. I am curious what you guys are all up to. What's your fun stuff that you're doing to keep busy? I know that creating a schedule was really good for me because otherwise I would just, probably be on my computer or on my tablet the whole time and just ultimately feel really, really bored. So this has been nice. Number one, doing the streaming has been really nice. But also getting the time to do some of my own artwork, so I should probably go and post some of that up for you guys so you can see the stuff that I've been doing. Sorry if this is freaking out the focus a little bit, trying to get really close. The nose is going to end up a different color, but we're just going to do everything in one color just to start, just so that it'll all have a even tone and make sure we get everything painted. Back to the big brush. We'll have to name him eventually. You guys have to start giving me suggestions for some different names for him. What kind of creature is he? I like to try and get the bottom of the feet pretty early on and then painting one of these little creatures, just because, you know, eventually you want them to be able to stand up so you can properly dry. So if you start with the feet, it gives the feet time to dry while you're painting the rest of him. So hopefully it'll be dry enough then to stand up on his own. Which is another good thing about acrylic, is acrylic can tend to dry pretty quickly. So that's another nice thing. Usually by the time you're finished with one area, the other area has started to dry. So like this part of the head is already dry, this part we started with. Not that I'm worried if it's still a little wet. Acrylic is really easy for cleanup. It doesn't stain the way watercolor paint will, or oils. So if it gets a little bit on your hands, it's not the end of the world at all. This part of his toes being real tricky. There we go. Hello, artsy K-Man. Who else is that in the chat? Lara, guys, I'm glad you could make it this morning. Give him a fiery name because he looks like fire. I'm down with that. Kenneth, you're off work today? That's good. Yeah, my family's been pretty lucky. I think I've mentioned before, both my brother and my sister, their work shut down. They did not get fired, thank goodness for that too. And my parents are both retired now, living out in the country. So they're doing great. Just them and the wild turkeys. All right. Feet are still a little wet, so we're just gonna still hold on to them for now. Second coat on the eyes. Oh geez. It's squirrel time. You downloaded Twitch just to watch the stream? I appreciate that. It's actually pretty nice. A lot of the YouTubers I follow have been hanging out more and more on Twitch, doing streaming. So if you have anyone that you follow there, you might want to see if they have like a Twitch account. It's been a real good way of connecting with people even more. More than just like leaving comments on their videos, because then you can actually either chat with them or meet other cool people in the chat. Been able to catch up with a couple of my former students, like Ken of Dragons in the chat there was in one of my very first classes ever. Let's do some white and a tiny bit of brown. Try to make a real kind of tannish color. Steal some of that orange. There we go. Oh, hey, Kaylee. Yay. And if any of you guys know anyone else who's even not in art class that might get a kick out of coming and watching this, please send my name their way. Or even friends who are not at Riverside. You can send them this way as well. We can all just hang out in art. Laura, you like the streams, but you didn't like the signing up process on Twitch? I figured there'd be some people who weren't too into it, but that's why I posted on YouTube as well. We just don't get to chat if we're on YouTube. I tried streaming on YouTube the first couple of days, but YouTube was not very happy about it. Plus, I like having a little background music, and you can't always find the free music. And it's not like we're profiting off of this or anything, but copyright. This music's okay, though. Alright, that looks cool. I thought the green might look kind of cool with his reddishness kind of pop out. Yeah, I would be down to do a Zoom with you guys. Maybe we'll try to do that later on in the week. Could completely kill my internet and do a Zoom chat from my laptop while streaming off my phone. You guys would have to have two windows open, one with the actual art going on and the other where you're watching me do the art. Or would that be too weird? Yeah, Zoom does work pretty well. I had my brother visiting yesterday, so he could hang out with my sister and I. We could play some video games. He had to show us his Animal Crossing. He's got an epic house already. It's crazy. But we decided we wanted to connect with our folks as well, so we did Zoom so we could talk with my parents. And that was fun. How many people are showing up to those Zoom meetings, Kaylee? Do you get a lot of the students showing up? We usually get a couple people show up here for the streams, but not a ton. Look at that little nugget there. He's so cute. Stop bumping the camera. Alright, so now that the rest of him is drying, so got a few places on the belly, we can start working on, feet are dry, good. Working on some of the lighter spots on him. So we're actually just going to take some of this tan that we made. Although I should take more of this orange. Cover him up a little bit better. He's still a little patchy in some spots. So mostly on the back where we want him to stay a little darker. Let's even just make some more of that. That's good to hear that kids are still showing up for their teachers and for classes. That's good. Stay away from that green, no. So the inside of the ears will eventually be a little bit lighter, so we don't need to cover the inside nearly as well. I was thinking too, maybe one day, once it gets a little bit nicer, when we get a little bit of sun and things dry up a bit, I have got a ton of sidewalk chalk that I normally save for when my family and I go camping in the summer. And hopefully that's still something we'll be able to do. It's going to really depend on, you know, obviously the situation. But I thought it might be fun to take it out and go and decorate my sidewalks out in front of my house. So maybe one of these days we'll do if it's nice and sunny out, we will do a outdoors shown art stream. You guys can come and watch me do sidewalk art. He looks so shiny on the camera. So if I do the sidewalk, what do you guys think? Do you think it'd be more fun to just do some fun artsy stuff? Should I do like positive inspirational quotes for the people who walk by? Should I do like almost like hopscotch? Do like an epic hopscotch so that when like the kids come walking by with family, they have something to play on. I think that would probably drive my dog crazy. Wiley likes to sit at the front window and tell everybody about social distancing is the joke. He sits at the window and barks, 6 feet, 6 feet. And my hands. That's all right. See you later, Kaylee. Have a good day. Cover the whole sidewalk in hopscotch. That'd be epic. I'll fill up my sidewalk and then I'll start creeping over into our neighbor's yard. They'll be looking out the window going, what is she doing? Laura could just do both, right, Laura? Could do hopscotch with tons of different designs. I mean, if we're going to do hopscotch, we're going to do like artistic hopscotch, right? Get that water droplet off of there. Okay. Hold your breath and make it real steady. Alright, he's still pretty damp all over, so we're going to give him a little break. Mel, could you actually do me a favor and get me a... Oh, she can't hear me. Mel! Could you get me a little damp paper towel, please? Thank you. Not quite prepared enough.
Just watching the governor.
Oh, yeah. So this was the little guy that I started on Friday afternoon stream. Thank you. And she was doing really well, and then when I went to bake her, it turned out that I'd made her head a little too heavy, and her head fell off. So I open up the oven, and the body is standing there, and the head is just... But the nice thing about Sculpey clay is that you can add more to it and then rebake it. So she's got a brand new long neck from how she got left off Friday. I'm getting orange paint all over her still, though. Alright, so she is... I got our little other character is all reds colors. It's gonna be kind of fiery looking. So maybe little dragon girl. Let's go with cool colors for her. But let's actually steal some of this orange that we did for the body for her eyes. So they'll kind of have opposite. He's got those green eyes, and she's gonna have kind of orangish colored eyes. Oh, stop bumping the camera. My poor phone is not the smartest of phones, so it tends to doesn't do very well with zooming in. Doesn't have the best camera, so I gotta keep it pretty close, which means bumping it. Oh. Give me just a second, guys. Dog wants to come in. Back from the epic squirrel chasing. Alright, that'll need a little time to dry, so let's start on the rest of you. Alright, cool colors. We need some blue. And let's get a tiny bit of purple. Not too much, because since purple is made with red, it tends to come out a little warmer sometimes. So we have to use sparingly. Plenty of green. And even though it's a warm color, we're going to sneak just a tiny bit of yellow into it. Alright, big brush. Actually broke my own first rule and didn't start by the feet. Let's do that. So we're gonna need some of that yellow and the green. The yellow just gives it that nice kind of springtime green look. So I can use that on the feet and in some other little areas. We get a little bit of that color in the wings too. Just a little bit. So now I got the parts that had a little bit of yellow in it, Now I'm just going in with just the green. And that's going to kind of make a cool little change from started off light, and it's going to start to get a little bit darker as we go. So I'm just using a clean brush right along that edge to help take away some of the extra green and to help with the blending a little bit. Thanks, Laura. We're gonna be including a lot more color in this though. This is just layer 1. And so I'm kind of going over this purple color as well because we're just gonna keep adding more layers to her. We're just gonna do like our little guy, our little foxy guy, and get a nice all over. And then we'll come back and start adding some detail. I don't have a name for her yet. Sometimes when I'm creating a creature or a character, I'll have a name in mind and then create them. And then sometimes it goes the other way. I have to wait until they're kind of finished, and then the name will work. I can't go into it going, this is Elizabeth, and then she doesn't end up looking like an Elizabeth. Probably have to continue the painting. It's already a lot later than I thought it was. So we'll at least get this part of her done. And I'll show you our little fire dude. So you can see how it looks once it started to dry a little bit. So tomorrow morning we'll do painting part 2, where we're starting to add in some more of the details. And then we'll kind of go from there. I thought about doing a little fur technique on our little fuzzy guy, but I'll have to see what kind of supplies I have, because obviously all the craft stores right now are closed, so we're working with what we got. So whether that means felt or yarn, I'm not sure. I have to see what I have in my supply. Let's get her eyes a little more. This is a good color in her eyes too. I didn't want them to be too red because I didn't want to give her that like evil looking kind of dragon, but oh yeah, all the art stores will allow you to do online ordering, but I don't know how many of them will necessarily do delivery, so I'd have to check that. But for sure, buying on like Amazon or something is probably not the best idea right now. They were just in on the news this morning that Amazon workers might be striking in some areas of the country just because they're overwhelmed and they're feeling unsafe. No, you can't blame them. But that's going to be pretty tough for people then. So don't get crazy and start ordering a bunch of stuff, because that's just going to, make it harder. But, if you have to go out, be real safe about it. Make sure you're washing your hands when you get back. Even if you're not sure if you touched anything, wash your hands anyway. I mean, even just opening a door, you never know. I actually just did a little time this weekend, and I sewed up a couple of fabric mask just for my brother and my sister and I, because we knew we'd have to eventually get out to the store. We have a lot of stuff stocked up, so we're not in dire straits, but you never know when something will change. And we also have to go out and get my older dog Wesker has epilepsy, which means that he can suffer from seizures. So he's been on medication for a couple years for that. So we've got it under control, but it does mean that he needs to keep taking medication. And unfortunately, his latest dose just happened to be running out. So we're gonna have to make a little trip out today to pick up his medication, pick up a couple of grocery type items as well if we can. It's gonna be a quick operation in and out, super fast. Alright, we're gonna do this really quick because I poured that blue paint and I don't want it to waste. Sit tight there, little girl. I want to get just a quick little hint of blue in some of the areas before it dries too far. Because y'all who have me in class, I do not like wasting stuff. And those of you I only had for 3 days before the lockdown happened, you don't know that, but someday you will. So you can see I'm not trying to paint it a solid blue. I'm letting the green show through quite a bit, which is a good trick for keeping things, having that color change, and you get this nice layered feeling. It helps to feel more like a skin, because skin has so many different colors in it. If you have just dark and light areas, having freckles. So pro tip, you're painting a little creature, or even just on paper as well, you want to definitely try and layer up your colors a little bit. So it might look a little sloppy right now, but once we really start getting in and adding in more of the paint and the details, it's just gonna be beautiful. Just go a little bit around in the face here. Not too crazy. Get it right around the snoot. That was our word of the day Friday if you missed it. Snoot. Like snout, meaning the area around your nose, but you make it sound cute. Snoot. Cute snout becomes a snoot. Alrighty. So there she is. We've got some nice color shading happening right now. Where's our little boy? He's not looking straight up. There he is. So still a bit of a shine with the acrylic paint, but that's okay. Alright, so thanks for coming out and watching me today. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, same time, 10 to 11. And everybody, I want you to just do your best to stay safe and clean up after yourselves. And let's do a real quick, as usual, we have to end our stream by checking on the dogs. Can't have a stream without checking on the boys. Wesker's on this couch today. Hi, Wesker. He's keeping an eye in the backyard from here. He's a good boy. I'm going to get your medication today. Let's go find Wiley. Wiley on the other couch, guarding the front yard. You're a good boy, aren't you? All right, everyone, I hope you stay safe and stay healthy. Wash your hands, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.